Hey everybody, welcome back to Premiere OnScript. My name is Eli, and this week we're going to dive into scripting with MOGRTs, a relatively new feature added to Premiere within the last couple versions, allowing you to customize and distribute cool After Effects or Premiere built motion graphics templates. And extremely new to the scripting world because it was just in one of the previous releases that we got access to these MOGRT files within Premiere. So let's talk about how to script with this. Before we dive in, I just want to let you know that I will be including the two sample scripts that I will be walking through today on my website, on my blog. You can find the link in the description, and you'll be able to download these. It'll help you walk through. I feel like it'll be better learning material that way. So just want to let you know that, and let's dive in. The first thing you'll need in order to follow along, or you could do this with your own MOGRTs too. For this, I've gone out to motionarray.com and I've downloaded their free simple titles MOGRT. And I literally clicked on the very first link that I saw on Google when I typed free MOGRT download. So I just created a quick account on MotionArray, downloaded the simple titles, and I placed that in my blog folder on my computer. And the first thing I've done up here is I have directed the script to the location of this MA MotionArray simple titles MOGRT. I'm just going to comment all this stuff out first so we can really walk through this. So now the script has the location of that MOGRT file. I'm also going to declare a couple other variables down through here. I'll do variable seek and just set that to the app.project.activeSequence. Then my time, I'll set that to seek.getPlayerPosition, which will be wherever this current time indicator is over here. And then I'll set the target video track that I want to lay this MOGRT in on. I'll set that to 1, and I'll set the audio track to just the number 2. So the very first function that we're going to run here is pretty simple, and it's going to get us into using these MOGRTs really quick. I'm going to declare a new variable, call it new MOGRT, and I'm going to go seek, targeting the active sequence, import MOGRT, but instead of MOGRT as I'm writing it over here, you're going to be using MGT. We will then include first the local path variable, which is pointing it to our MOGRT file. Then comma and add the time that we want that placed at. I'm going to do time.seconds. And then the video track we want it placed on and the audio track we want it placed on. And once we do that, if we were to run this script, we will see that it is now in here. If it had audio, it would be down on the second track, and this has been placed on video track number 1. One thing I don't like about how this is imported into the sequence is that when it comes in, if you have multiple things on your sequence when you import this in, you might kind of get lost as to where this came in, even though it is right at your CTI. I'd like this to be selected. So right off the bat, when we create that, it returns that new MOGRT that we're storing in this variable. So I'm just going to go new MOGRT.setSelected is equal to true. That way when we import this, we come in and we know exactly like that is the thing that was selected. So if we run that again, there we go. We have this selected MOGRT on our sequence. Now, what's the use of actually bringing in a MOGRT if you can't mess around with the various options that we get when we bring a MOGRT in? So you can see in this MotionArray MOGRT, there's all these options, and there's ways to turn on different titles. Right now, this is title 04, which we should be seeing up here. Yeah, we have all these. It's a little slow to load for some reason right now, probably with the screen capture software. But you can see as I check these boxes, different options come in, and we can change the words here, and they'll change. So let's say I'm importing this, and when it came in, we had this title 04 checked. But what if I want to bring it in? I want title 01 to be my option, and I want to customize the text for right here and right here. So the way we would do that is we're going to have to access the component of this MOGRT file. And so we'll start diving into that by uncommenting these brackets. and just going if new MOGRT, meaning if the new MOGRT exists, if this import was successful, then we will declare a new variable, call it components, and set that equal to new MOGRT.get MOGRT component. And one thing that got me when I started messing around with this was that it's get MOGRT component single, not components. So just don't let that catch you up. And what happens when we get that is if I just write this for loop of the display names of the component properties display names out to the console, we can then see all of those options up here that we had in the Essential Graphics panel. One thing you will notice is that this title 01 over here, this on-off, that title was not retained up here in the display names of these various properties. So that's just something to note as we spit these out and read them, that we're going to have to be smart about how we decide to turn those on and off. But at least we have accurate names for the titles, the scale, the position, rotation, all of that type of stuff down here. That might just been an export issue by Motion Array. So let's start accessing these and writing what we want to write in there. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this code right here and I'm going to copy and paste it up right here. Because the first thing I really want to do is turn this title 01 on. This is the template that I'd like to use, which looks like this. It kind of comes in nice at the beginning with that solid structure there. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to then delete this because I already have it and go components.property 0 set value to true. And I know that it's going to be property 0 because we can see from this list it may not have a display name up here, but we know that it's first in the list and that all of these options are going down sequentially. So we're going to turn that to true in order to turn on that motion graphic effect. And now if we come in here to our newly imported MOGRT file, you can see that that is turned true. Now there is a problem because title 04 is still turned on, but we'll deal with that a little bit later. So next, if I just run this real quick, the next thing I want to do is change the value of the title 01 text A and the title 01 text B to whatever I want it to say. So I'm going to come down here to, once again, components, properties, but this time I'm going to use a new function called getParam for display name, and then type in the string of what that display name is. And to get that accurate string, you can just look over to this console we have over here and just copy and paste that text over. That way you don't mess with any typos. You just bring that in there and paste it and you're all good. And I'll comment this stuff out over here just so we don't have it looping through that every time. So now it should import this file. It should select it. It then should set that first title 1 to true, turn that checkbox on, and then customize the text. So let's jump back in here. Let's delete that and let's run it and see if we get what we'd like. And there we go. Title 01 is checked. Hi, I'm Eli with Premiere OnScript is all good there. One problem we have is that this isn't responsive right now. There are ways now to create responsive MOGRTs, but I think when this motion array template was released, it was before that responsiveness was allowed. So what we'll have to do is come down to the X scale down here and make that a little bit wider so it fits the width of the text that I'm trying to put on screen. And that's what we'll do with this next one. Right now, it is set to X scale 100. So I'm going to set that to 125. I think that'll bring it out just where I need it to be. And if I run that, we will see, sure enough, compared to this one, it has now set the width to be right where I need it to be. So now let's delete these, and we're going to come down here to our final problem, which is the fact that that title 04 comes in as checked. And we don't want that. We want it to be unchecked. But like we looked at earlier, we can see that over here, that title 04 checkbox doesn't have a display name. So we can't exactly go get param for display name like we did with xscale, like we did with title O1 text B, and set the values like we did up here. Now, once again, I realize I missed this. You have to make sure that you enter the correct data type into what these set values want. So with those text strings, I'm entering strings with the quotes around them, and with the scale, I'm entering a number because it's expecting for a number. But back to what we were saying, what we're going to have to do now is as we loop through all of these properties, I know that the display name of the property right after this title 4 checkbox is going to be title 04 text A. So what I'm going to do is loop through all of those properties, just like I did up here where we were printing out this to the console. And I'm going to test if components properties A dot display name is equal to title 04 text A right here. Then components properties A minus 1, meaning just looping it back one index in that array, and we'll set the value to false. So now if we run this, we should get exactly what we're hoping for, which is going to be this to have all customized stuff with all of what we need. So there's title 01, hi, I'm Eli with Premiere OnScript, and if we come down to title 04, sure enough, we turned it off and the scale is at 125. So there we go. That's, the bulk of the tutorial today. I have a couple other extra little things that I wanted to mention to you guys. But if that's all you needed, you can go ahead and stop watching the video and jump over to the blog and download those sample scripts for use. What I want to show you as well is that if you've been messing around with uploading MOGRTs and exporting them to the Creative Cloud so that you can have access to them anywhere, you can also access those MOGRTs that are in your libraries through scripting as well. What's special about this is this isn't listed on the Adobe sample code. In the Adobe sample code right here, you can see that it has all this import MOGRT stuff, which I just covered with you. But for some reason, they haven't listed the import MOGRT from library method, which I found as I was digging around with some of these features earlier. Now, unfortunately, right now, my Creative Cloud is all busted up. I think I installed a wrong version or did something, and I am not able to access Creative Cloud right now to make this function work. But if you use that and you would like to implement this into your workflow, what you can do is go app.project.activeSequence, the same thing that we did above here, which is just seek import MOGRT from library. And very similar to up here, we're going to have all of these things, except this first argument is going to be the library name that you have stored on Creative Cloud. So if I go to my Creative Cloud and I have a library called Premiere OnScript, I would target this exact text right here. It goes out to that library, and then the next string you have to enter is the name of the MOGRT you're trying to import. So you can see right here, I have a Messin with MOGRT that if my Creative Cloud was working, it would work. And then I would, just as we did above, set the time, the video track, and the audio track. And we can run this just to see if it works, but I doubt it will work. And yeah, that sure as heck didn't work. So just trust me on this. Try it out yourself if you have some MOGRTs stored up on Creative Cloud. Give it a shot. It does work. And that is a really cool feature if you do use Creative Cloud quite a bit. One last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is if you're writing a script that, say you don't really want to import your MOGRTs, you already have those placed in, but you want to go through and change a bunch of template text that you have across your sequence. Say you have a bunch of other footage in here, and I'm just going to jump out to, let's see, my blog here and get some raw screen cap that I've captured before. And you can imagine if you have a bunch of footage down in your sequence, like I do here, call it whatever you want, a standard edit, and then you ran this guy over here and then had some MOGRTs in there, and I'm just going to import this MOGRT, and let's just, duplicate it a couple times throughout this sequence. But then I want to go through and automate the text that's coming through in all of those MOGRTs. How do I know which of these are clips and which of these are MOGRTs and which of these are solids and which of these are images or whatever. So if you want to go through and automate it like that, there's a really easy way to run through your active sequence and find the MOGRTs that you have in there. And the way I would do that is by going to variable seek, isolating the active sequence, then isolating the video tracks by going seek.videotracks. I'll make a new, what you could call a temporary array, call it MOGRTs. And I'm going to loop through each one of those video tracks and then each one of those clips on the video tracks. And we can use this handy function if vtracks A clips B based on these two for loops is MOGRT, and if that returns true, then what I do is I push that to the MOGRT array. And then out here, if I clear the console and we run this, we should see that we have 5 MOGRTs on varying tracks. If I make this and pull it up here, we should have 6 now. And if I run this, you'll see over here that we have 6 MOGRTs in this timeline. So that way you have this array of the MOGRTs, and you could then just loop through that array and change the text to whatever you need it to do. So get creative with that and have fun with it. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a really cool topic. MOGRTs are super fun to work with. And once again, hop over to the blog if you want to download these sample scripts. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.